Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Salem by Night Chronicle. I'm the Robin's Archon. My name is Will, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. Last we left off with our Camarilla coterie, we opened up with them investigating the abandoned meadery on the strip. Ivory took note of the realtor's phone number. Kathy used the shadows to mask her approach to the place, and there was some good old-fashioned B&E. Crime has never been more alive in the city, and it's never been more useful to bring a coterie together. But Karl did end up picking the locks while Kathy scampered into the building through the small bathroom window. They noticed in the back part of the meadery that it was the brewery. There was still the frames for a lot of the big kind of kegs and big brewing pots that they had. They also noticed a lot more foot traffic taking place in the back. The front was completely abandoned and had a small layer of dust on it from how long it's been kind of left off to the side. They saw a stack of signs for the Beehive Meadery and Winery. But they also found scuff marks around the stack of signs, and after getting to work and putting them aside, they saw a trap door that led to a basement where a lot of religious iconography and kind of Bible verses had been written out in graffiti and paint and such, and the whole place reeked of kind of barbecue, smoked burnt wood, and a little bit of lighter fluid. That's when they noticed the burnt outline of a body, the kind of little mound of ashes that had been collected in the center of what was a coroner's table, a footlocker that had the belongings of what looked to be a young woman, or a woman in general, and a license plate for a young woman named Bianca Mathers that they found out was actually Hannah Smalley, an Archon from Chicago. Karl took samples of the things down there, as well as the vials of blood, ash, and rice, or seeds. They also found the crossbow that had been modified to fire stakes, the kind of hunter's cache that existed down there. And as they were taking evidence and making notes, they heard a truck pull up, the barking of a dog, and since Kathy had to stay upstairs to keep watch, she ended up leaping on one of them, tearing his throat out, at least a good chunk of it, and earning her first stain. Once Karl was done, he came up and they drove the other hunter away. He mercy killed the one that was bleeding on the floor, and he earned his stain. But they ended up taking the modified crossbow that they found. They found they took the gentleman's ID, which led them to a name named Clifford Bajor, or Bajor, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And then they returned to the Albatross to kind of scamper about and see if anybody was there, where they saw the employees kind of cleaning up. Marcus took note of them hurriedly walking away from the scene of the crime. But they all ended up at Ivory's club, where they saw that it was still under construction, that it has its own parking lot. It has ample space underneath a balcony for waiting patrons to try to get inside. And then after doing some tests on the blood, discovered that it belonged to the Archon Hannah Smalley, who had a blood potency of 4 and was 8th generation. I still need to reveal the sire to the group. But they went back to the diner to speak with the sheriff, and they found out that Hannah was an Archon that was sent from Chicago to certify Hyde's praxis claim over the city. And then he told them that he was going to try to meet up with the Primogen Council as quickly as possible, and try to amass them for the next evening around 10 o'clock. He then looked at the driver and asked if he was involved in the situation or if he was going to be taken care of. And Ivory has since started the ghouling process on that. So he is about to enter a world of shit. But that's okay. He's just going to be a driver for now. They were also warned not to tell anybody about what they've learned or what they saw until the Primogen Council was gathered. They ended up dropping off Karl at the Albatross so he could take his car and go back to his lab. And Kathy was left on the streets to fend for herself as she has been used to. And we left off with everybody just kind of going off their separate ways for the evening. So we're going to pick up the next night with our dirty pair, because Karl is not here. It's nice to see you, ladies. It's a ladies episode. This should be interesting, to say the least. But it is the next night. It is now Friday, November 9th. You do have your meeting with Otis at midnight in Salem Town. But it is close to 10. You guys are arriving at the Elahe Country Club. Is there anything done in preparation for what's about to happen?
Well, Ivory's dressed to the nines.
Okay.
Looking proper and the way that she should for something like this.
Kathy is wearing all black with a leather collar, and her hair is frizzed out to like about here with her mask on.
Okay.
Nails are like deep red, and she has like that really over the top makeup compared to the nines over here.
Okay. You pull up. You see that the sheriff is already kind of waiting outside near the valet station. And as the two of you kind of show up and it gets closer to 10, he looks out at the cars and looks back at you guys. Are we not going to be entreated by your Tremere coterie member?
Had they heard from him?
No.
He's not here?
And he is not here.
Talking about the nerd. Isn't he at a lab or something? Wasn't he analyzing someone's like blood?
The ashes, yeah.
So obviously
Yes.
he's busy. Are we gonna get this meeting on or what?
He probably got caught up in the research of what was going on.
All right. Well, it's a few minutes past the hour. We can wait a little longer, or we can go in and talk to the gathered Primogen. Not everybody's here, but the people that are here are the most influential and the most necessary, I think, to know what happened.
Let's get on in. Who else are we waiting for?
Nobody. And you see him kind of nod at somebody else standing off to the side. And there is this incredibly statuesque woman with kind of very light mocha-colored skin and just a kind of ridge of freckles of dark, almost dark gray, kind of dark brown, almost black freckles that just shoot across her face. Black hair that's been tied back in a braid, and very Amazonian looking, very light eyes. And as she comes over to him, he turns to look at the two of you. This is my new Hound, so she's going to be kind of your liaison just in case the Primogen decides to keep you attached to this, but this is Iocasta Drakos.
Acosta.
Iocasta.
Iocasta.
You Costa? Like you cost a lot of money?
And she looks down at you. Iocasta. Like it is Greek. Like my ancestry.
Very nice to meet you. I'm
nice
Ivory.
To meet you. And she extends
Nice to
her
meet
hand,
you.
and you can feel the strength in it.
Much more than mine, yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy's behind Ivory.
Mm-hmm. But he leads you in, and you see that she takes up the position at the rear, so that the two of you are sandwiched between them. And as you're brought up to one of the ballrooms, you can see that all the tables have been moved to either side of the room. All the chairs have been stacked away, except for the ones for the prince, the Nosferatu Primogen, who you recognize as Julian Poole, the Ventru Primogen, who you have had dealings with, which is Anastasia Richards, the Tremere Primogen, which you still haven't dealt with, Richard Stephen Thompson, and the Miscellaneous Clan Primogen, which is Konstantin Anton Ivanovich. The missing Primogen are the Bruhal, the Malkavian, the Toreador, and the Gangrel Primogen. I use Primogen very loosely for him. But the sheriff kind of steps up. Iocasta stays by the doors. Good evening, everybody, and I appreciate you all coming out here on short notice. I told this coterie not to say anything until we gathered here, but they have found some very distressing news that I will open up the floor to them to pass on to the gathered group here. And he takes a step out towards the table so that it's just this open, long hallway of nothing except for the 5 chairs that are sitting in a half circle kind of looking at you. They're in the center of the room. All the way in the back, you can see the large, what would be a very beautiful window overlooking the gardens, but the drapes have been pulled in and tied so that nobody can actually see into the room. Very low light in the room. It is not lit to its full potential, and it kind of gives an eerie feeling. But the floor is yours.
Kathy walks up, she walks right past Ivory, and she goes, she taps the microphone. She goes, hello everyone. It's
no microphone.
Great to be here. Whatever. Sorry. She goes up to him. She's like, hello. It's great to be here. She turns back to Ivory. Hennessy is dead.
You're who?
Ivory moves a little past her, doesn't push her or anything, but moves past her. Let's start a little with what happened. Thank you for listening to our report. You sent us on a mission, and it has led us some interesting places. One of which we were checking out the building that the Kwaijan were wanting to buy on Main Street, on the main drag. And we found some disturbing things. It seems to have been used for vampire hunters, actually, in a trapdoor in the basement. We found paraphernalia of a religious nature. We found weapons that were obviously meant to harm us. It was very disturbing. And then Karl was he took some blood samples and some ash samples of a body that was found. Well, ashes found in the shape of a body on a metal table that he took and was later able to get quite a lot of information. In fact, he's still doing research right now on these samples that we found. And it seems that it was the remains of what was her name again? Well,
Hannah Smalley.
Anna Smalley.
She wasn't going by Anna Smalley. She was going by somebody else. And Kathy pulls out the ID. It's this chick. Does anyone recognize her? And she is it to she taps Ivory on the shoulder with it. Give it to them. Give it to them.
And she takes the ID and puts it on the table.
Yep. The sheriff steps forward. For the record, the Karl that they're speaking of is Karl Keller, their Tremere coterie mate. And you see them kind of nod.
Nerd.
What are you gonna say?
The nerd.
Oh. Excuse me. He grabs the ID. He looks down at it. Bianca Mathers. This is definitely the name that Miss Smalley was going by while she was here in the city. And he hands it to one of the Primogen, who kind of looks at it, and they just kind of share it. There's a bit of discussion amongst them, and the sheriff kind of takes a step back to where he was previously. The prince leans back in his chair. Who all knows about this discovery that was made in this abandoned building? This is the one that was burnt down last night, yes? And the sheriff nods.
We have no idea what that's about.
In the process of our investigation, 2 of the hunters showed up. One of them was taken care of and kind of nods over to Kathy. The other one did get away. As for who knows about this, our coterie.
You guys.
We went, after we realized who it was, we went straight to the sheriff with our information.
Anastasia sits forward, and you're sure that these were hunters that were involved in...
Yeah, they taste like it.
Is there any other proof that these might have been hunters that were stationed in this building?
Hey, Ivory, you got the crossbow?
There were hunters in this. I'm trying to think, did they have anything on them that was...
I took their ID.
On them, no, just a wallet.
I have the wallet. I hold up the wallet. No?
Well, they had the key to the building. They had a dog. They knew what they were looking for. They were going for the trapdoor.
They were also going to try and burn it down if somebody somewhere wouldn't have bit them.
Yes, they were trying to burn it.
And they might have caused the fire. I don't really know who.
She turns to look at the other Primogen. The prince still leaning back in his chair. Until such a time as proof can be brought forward that these are in fact hunters, I think that the smaller the group of people that knows about this kind of situation, the better off we are. We don't want to create an alarm of any sort.
So you're gonna let somebody go around killing other vampires and not warn them?
Oh no. I leave the situation in the hands of our capable sheriff. I'm sure that he will handle the process accordingly.
Kathy raises her hand. Is this the same sheriff who didn't know about it until we told him?
He clears his throat.
Ivory puts her hand on Kathy's shoulder.
Anastasia will...
She does it, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, Anastasia's still kind of sitting forward, will say, I recommend, then, that your group, and this is by no means an order or a decree, Sheriff Greene, but if I recall correctly, Connie was captured by hunters at one point, so maybe talking to Melvin would shine some light on the situation. And Sheriff Greene nods. It is duly noted. I appreciate your input, Primogen. The prince, you see him kind of raise an eyebrow at the wordage that Anastasia uses, and he stands up, puts his hand in his vest pocket. As a careful and mindful prince of the tower, I think that the err on the side of safety would be best. So, Sheriff, I decree that any kindred in the city who have any kind of business that might attract attention cease it, at least until the new year. And as such, I believe that I will declare the December Elysium and this November Elysium off until further notice. But Miss Lawson, I do believe that your club might be up and running by January, so maybe we can start a new year in a new spot. Does this fit with your schedule?
Why, yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Are there any other concerns then before we adjourn and let the sheriff handle business from here on in? And everybody just kind of shakes their heads. They look at each other. There's a lot of unspoken messages being sent, though, in glances. Like,
Kathy
Ivory
leans
recognizes this. What were you going to say?
Kathy leans into Ivory and she goes, "Should we tell him about the demonic little demon too?"
No hesitation.
You sure? We can also tell them about the wolves that we found.
Kathy.
Yeah, go ahead. Go about your day, guys. Totally nothing to see here. Peace. We'll check you, radical.
And the prince adjourns everyone. And you see a couple of the Primogen kind of standing and immediately talking to each other off to the side, but the prince and the Nosferatu Primogen make their way out through the back.
Yeah, during this, Ivory was watching very closely what the prince was doing with his reactions and such.
Yeah, he had none to speak of. Like, it's strange. There's no concern. There's no surprise. But it's also very difficult to read a stoic venture like him.
Kathy leans in. Was it just me, or did he not give, like, a fuck?
Let's talk
Maybe
later.
it's because I'm new. But he just did not care.
The sheriff does come over to you as everybody else is kind of dealing with themselves.
The minute he does, I smile. "Hey, buddy!"
So, I'm gonna see who else is available for this. I know that you found this, you brought this up, but I don't know if your coterie is prepared to go toe to toe with hunters.
Took one out. Hey, you know what? Whatever your discretion is, right?
A little help would not be terrible.
All right. If anything, you can reach out to Iocasta here. She'll be your shadow if you need it. But otherwise, I think me and her are gonna be doing some more legwork on this.
Are we allowed to still do some legwork on it, or is it just up to you?
If you're gonna do some legwork on it, I would prefer to be the first one to be let in on anything and everything that you find.
No problem. I have no problems with that. I just want to make sure that everybody's working on it.
Yes, and as soon as we get any more information from Karl, we'll let you know.
Sounds good.
If he found anything else.
I hope he did.
Chewie, did we ever find out her sire? Or are we still waiting on them?
You're still waiting on that. Karl knows who her sire is, but
Okay.
yeah, you as a group are still waiting on that.
Okay, so that's what he's doing it for. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh. Thank you.
Yeah. And the Dance Nocturne has now been volunteered for Elysium in January.
Yay.
Good times.
We're gonna have so much fun.
You get out to your car. The driver comes around, opens the door for both of you.
Oh, Question: is it the same driver, or is he looking a little ghoulish?
It's the same driver.
The same driver, but you can't really tell any difference.
Oh, okay.
No.
Whisper: is he ghouly?
Yes.
It has begun.
Oh, look at you having minions! I'm so proud.
Oh,
And
he's
she
not
did.
the first. Anyway.
Ooh, must make for one hell of a Friday night.
It can.
Kathy slips in. So, are we gonna go find these hunters and fuck these guys, or what?
Well, we do have another meeting
Oh, that's right. We gotta go meet with
with Otis.
the king. Yeah, that dude. Yeah, he seemed like a fun character to know. Totally not intimidating.
Seems a little better than our prince, but we'll see.
Our prince looks like shit and sounds like shit. He don't give a flying fuck about the vampires.
Yeah, once the door is closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I imagine Ivory closing up. Oh, yes, we got that.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not hugging you. I'm closing this door because you are a liability. Yes. That kind of moment.
Just making sure that other people are not hearing this diatribe.
Mhm.
Anyway. No, he didn't seem to care at all. And he didn't seem surprised either.
I thought the same thing, which means he fucking knows about it. I'm gonna bet,
And
and I gave her a 20,
that
like a
is
crumple 20.
That is a very interesting idea, that the prince doesn't care that an Archon was killed in his city.
Can't that start a war? Like, out of
Not
character. Won't it start a war?
Not a war. Well,
Like other Archons vying for that power.
no.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so an Archon was killed in the city. This guy doesn't give a flying fuck. It's probably
No.
him behind it. How do we prove
He
it?
at least knew about it.
If you know about it, your hand's in it. And if your hand's in it, it means you are the one responsible for it. How can we prove it? You've been a vampire longer than I have.
Well, proving it, that's the hard part, and that's always the thing. It is one of our laws not to kill another of us. We're not allowed to. However,
So,
it happens.
is there any way to figure out what this Archon was doing in the city and what she was
Well,
up to?
I
Why
believe
got
she
killed?
was here to ratify his princedom.
That's what they
Gotta
told
use
you.
smaller words, sweetheart. I ain't that smart.
To say, yes, you can be prince.
And if she wasn't here, then what? He wouldn't have been prince?
It
Was she
wouldn't
here
have
against it?
been sanctioned by the council.
So she was here to help that or to get in the way of that?
Evidently to help it, because she said yes. Now,
Or-
why she said yes,
Or she had a change of heart?
maybe. And yeah,
Who
I
do
don't
you
know.
think would know about this chick being in the city?
Well, we're about to go to someone who knows a lot and
Then I
does
guess
not
we're gonna
like
pass- Ooh.
hide. So maybe
to
we
spill
can find out
some
more.
Who wants some beans for dinner? I
And
think we should spill some.
as you get to the bridge, the driver kind of looks back. Ma'am, we're going into West Salem now.
Thank you.
And
So
you are now in Anarch territory.
Yeah. So keeping an eye out. Let's get through here quickly.
Oh, but I want to say. Oh, nope. Sorry. This is Anarch territory, ain't it? I'll just sit back here. You got that sparkly wand thing from last time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like this car.
Yeah. If you try
It's
to
a
drink,
snazzy
you will vomit up blood. I'm just letting you know.
I won't drink then.
Because you do remember your moment at the Albatross where you asked for a shot.
You were 100%. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
that special drink.
You can smell it. You can smell it. You can swish
But
it
alcohol
around.
is not our friends.
But food and drink is not for you anymore. In total, it's about 45 minutes of a drive from the country club to Salem Town, where the Red Eye Lounge sits. It is a very drastic shift in population, and as far as how it looks. The country club was very swanky, very much where Ivory kind of fit in. The Red Eye Lounge is the complete opposite. There are trucks, four-wheel drives, jeeps, all of them streaked with mud. Jeans and t-shirt. This is definitely more Kathy's spot.
Oh, look at that 4-wheel back there. Ain't that the schnaz?
And as you come into the lounge, you're a little early as far as like the meeting is concerned, but walking in, you can see that there's already a circular kind of octagonal arena where the mechanical bull has been erected. The bar, the DJ booth in the back is just shooting all kinds of lights and strobing effects. There's too many of those kind of disco balls, of mirrored disco balls. So there's shafts of light everywhere. It is ridiculous. And although right now there is a little bit of rock and roll going on, like you can hear the beginnings of like Jesse's Girl being played. There's a lot of what looks to be country adjacent accoutrement, like there is a steer's head on the wall. There is a neon cowboy that takes up the entirety of a wall, and his lasso kind of halos the hallway that leads to where the bathrooms are. The bar, he runs along the immediate wall to the left of the entrance, and at the end of it, you see a door marked office. And this is where kind of one of the bouncers was told to look out for a group like yours. And he knocks on the door, and after a moment, he opens it, and sitting inside behind a desk, the large office, is John Coulson, who Ivory recognizes. I think this is the first time that an awake Kathy will get to meet John Coulson.
Ah, Mr. Coulson.
He stands
It's
up.
good to see you again.
Miss Larson, it's been some time. I saw you on the docket. I was excited to see your coterie. I apologize that it's only the two of you, but I am still trying. I'm on the phone waiting for a call back from your associate, Mr. Keller. Seems he's run into some issues with the ashes you found. Very interesting, to say the least.
He told you about that.
He reached out to me for help. It seems that there are wards attached to the ashes that are not originating in blood sorcery. And so we have put together some of the finest Tremere that we have access to. And I will say that he has pulled in some favors. So whatever you are dealing with, it is very interesting to the Tremere.
I'm sure it is.
But if you don't mind, and he thanks the guy, the bouncer. He goes, "Thank you, Charlie. That'll be all." And once the door closes, out of the shadows, just kind of coming into the light, almost appearing instantaneously, you see this grizzled, tall, kind of not overweight, but definitely bigger kind of man. Sitting there in an undershirt, this very loud, very obnoxious, kind of neon colored Hawaiian
life.
shirt, jeans, and boots, and you see that he has a Ziploc bag of what looks to be this kind of bloody mixture, but you can see chunks of something kind of floating around, and he does spork something and just kind of bring it up to his mouth and start to chew on it.
Kind of like jerky.
But Coulson kind of looks over at you. I hope you don't mind that Mr. Garza here pats you down. We don't condone the use of weaponry amongst the coterie here.
I mean, he can pat me down all he likes, and she's like, so, come on, baby, I'm wearing leather for a reason.
And he puts the spork in the bag. He kind of closes it as much as possible and puts it on the desk. He's like, okay, man, but you asked for this, okay?
Okay.
And
Make sure you give the girls a nice squeeze.
You don't gotta tell me twice. And he does pat you down, and he does take a little extra time around your chest. With Ivory, he's a little bit more gentle. It looks like he can read the room and the situation. And just by the way that you're dressed, he's just kind of like, okay, look, I'm just gonna pat you down. I'm gonna use the back of my hands. Just gotta make sure you're not carrying any weapons, okay?
All right.
He looks over at Coulson. They're clean, man. You guys are not hiding anything.
Are you asking us?
I am asking you if you are hiding anything, because he would have found it and he would have made a note of it and taken it from you.
I'm wearing leather so tight you can see in between the ass cheeks. We're good.
Okay.
So Ivory does keep weapons on her, but they are all very hidden. So that's up to you if you found them.
All right, let me see.
I've described them on my sheet, but
Yep. Yeah. Let me see if he finds them then. Let me have you,
kind of girl.
just to see how well you can hide them. Let me have you make a. We'll say composure and larceny.
don't have that.
We'll do stealth then. You have at least a die in that.
Yeah, I do. Okay.
See how well you have him hidden compared to him.
1 success.
Okay. So you see him kind of pat you down a little bit using the back of his hands, and there's moments where he goes up the body and then he comes down the body and then goes, oh, this dress is so well made. And then you see him, as he's touching it, he starts to pull out some of your hidden weapons. I got 6 successes.
Oh shit! He found everything.
Yeah. So he just
he slipped right in through the leg, and he was like, "Baby, what are you hiding down here?"
He pulls everything out.
Yeah, she has a bodice dagger in it down, and one of her bracelets is actually a garrote.
Yeah.
And then she has a hairpin in her hair.
You let down the hair. If it's holding your hair up and it comes down, actually, like Kathy whistles.
Yeah. And he just looks down at them. He looks back at you. Are you sure you're Toreador? Because that's what I heard you were. And this is not how Toreadors act that I've met before. This is very... I think the word I'm going to use is arousing. And you see John just, Manny, please. Like, hey, man, I'm just calling it like I see it. That's sexy. And you see him go back to spork a piece of meat and puts it in his mouth.
A lady has to protect herself.
Come get me all night, baby.
Yeah. And John has him, like, he slaps him on his arm, and he immediately puts back the bag and helps him slide the filing cabinet to one side, and you can see that there is this massive vault. It's a safe more than a vault, but it is kind of the size of the filing cabinet. It's as wide And when he opens it, it's as deep as about 2.5 people could easily fit, kind of hunched over and whatnot, but they could easily fit inside the safe. And then you see him pull the bottom of it. There is another kind of false floor with another set of tumblers, another little wheel with a combination. And when he unlocks that he pulls up, and it reveals a stairway leading down into a basement. And you can hear the sounds of jazz coming up from down there.
Good jazz? Please say it's good.
Well, it depends. Would you like to try and piece what kind of a jazz it is?
Yes, please. What do I need?
Sure.
That would be a wits and performance check.
I got wits.
I got performance.
Okay.
Bet you do, baby girl. I got 1 performance and I got 3 wits so far.
One hunger dice.
Yeah.
So 3 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm not rolling well tonight. So 2 successes.
2 successes. All right,
Yeah.
what did Kathy get? 3.
Success.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It's not difficult. It's not a difficult roll. I would think that given how old both of you are, especially Ivory, she would recognize it. Both of you recognize it as Joe McPhee's Nation Time. So it's a little more erratic. It's a little more wild than regular jazz. It's not mellow. It does start mellow, but it does kind of get erratic. So he's definitely been listening to it for at least half an hour. But as you climb down, you see that there is a gentleman sitting on a leather love seat that looks up in your direction and tracks your descent as you're coming down, almost like a very vigilant watchdog. He's dressed in what looks to be this mantle of furs that have been sewn together, almost like a wild tracker. Very out of place. And as you come down on the far wall, in front of a bookcase that has the record player where you hear this music coming from, and what looks to be 3, almost 4 shelves of just jazz records and rhythm and blues, Motown music kind of labeled up, a series of books, collections of memoirs, and a couple of accoutrements from like California. You can see the back of Otis King, who's dressed in his dress shirt. The sleeves are rolled up. You can see the back of his vest kind of contrasting in color to his shirt. He's got his slacks on. His shoes are well maintained. And as you two come down, Manny follows, and so does John Coulson. And the only 2 that look remotely similar are John and Otis. John has the same kind of dress shirt, but he has a tie. He has no vest. He does have his sleeves rolled up right now, and you can see the tattoos of like esoteric symbols down his sleeves. Manny looks like he belongs somewhere where there is no snow, as opposed to Salem Town. Very much living in his kind of Latin-ness. The other one, who you still haven't been introduced to, just looks like a wild man. And then Otis kind of turns around. You can see that his wild hair is kind of tied back. It's a very wide, not a ribbon, but definitely a kind of cord to hold his hair. And then it just kind of spools out like a mane. But he smiles as the 2 of you come down, and he points at one of the 2 couches in front of a full body mirror. If you want to take a seat, Do you know Dimitri, by the way? He kind of points at the wild man, who just kind of holds up his hand. Hello.
No, although we kind of had the pleasure to meet a bit.
I'm not gonna lie. Sure, he sounds familiar, but the name Dimitri just, it rings a bell.
This is Dimitri Korchagin. He's our coterie's gangrel. You know John. You've met Manny. Unfortunately, I apologize for him. But how can I help your group? And you see him turn down the jazz. So it's just kind of like in the background.
Thank you for seeing us, Mr. King.
Of course.
And she will take a seat.
Kathy kind of just flops down next to Ivory, puts her arm over her. We think the prince is trying to kill some coterie people. And we're trying to prove it, because he didn't give two flying fucks that an Archon died not more than, 2 nights ago? She looks at Ivory. Right, Sugar?
And he cocks his head. An Archon
Nothing
died.
like...
An Archon died. Not only did an Archon die, but she was hunted by some vampire things that I took a bite out of. And I trust you a lot more than I trust him.
Noted.
Maybe we should start with... back a little bit.
Sure. And you see that he sits down in one of the other 4 love seats, and right now it's him on one side, Manny next to him, then Dimitri, and then on the other end of the 4 seats is John Coulson.
I'm glad I have all your attentions.
Yeah. That is one way to get it, I suppose. So, we were put together as a coterie not long ago, like last week. And
He knows. He got Nerd Man out of jail. She points right at Otis King.
And since we have been investigating what we were put on as a coterie, it's been one thing after another that we found out that is just very strange.
Don't worry, I got this. The first night there was a demon, and then that demon had a werewolf friend. That werewolf friend decided to chase us out. We actually had to put her to sleep. But then after we were running around, that demon decided to dematerialize, completely dematerialize. I couldn't even believe it. And it glowed a little on the green side, but it also had some weird illusion to it that could put you under. Then after that, we ran into Anastasia, who has somebody that she was trying to look for. We went into what's that called? Werewolf land. And strangely enough, she's there, and she's telling us that nothing's all like it seems, Sugar, that we need to keep our peepers open. And we keep our peepers open, and sure as shit, we find an Archon dead in this Guijing area. Is that enough for you? Because I would like to get to the point where we find somebody and kick their ass.
He points at her while looking at you, Ivory. He's like, "Are you saddled with a Malkavian?"
Well, very new. She is very new.
Oh. Okay, that could explain it. She's
seen a lot of things. Yeah. There have been a lot of things that have happened in the past couple weeks.
Okay.
We were originally put out to find out what the Trudging were doing in Salem. This has led us to some very interesting ideas, some of which are that the Trudging and the Anarchs might be working together, that that Hyde may have had something to do with Geraldine's death, that the former prince and that the Archon that certified him was found dead by hunters and he was not surprised. There's so many things that are running around. We don't know what to think. And we've been told that you might know a little more about what happened with Geraldine, and that we might be able to piece together some of this information that we've gotten.
Oh, I see. Do white women know anything about the Black Panther movement?
Is that a movie?
A little.
Before my embrace, I helped out. I was part of a group that thought that we have within us, all of us, the ability and the desire to want to create a better world. That has since that mentality has since shifted since coming and having to deal with Hyde personally. I was there the night that we were attacked at the country club. I saw it go down.
What happened?
A SWAT team that wasn't really SWAT came in and took out a few of the kindred in the city. People
Select kindred?
No, but they had targets, and they had their sights set on Geraldine for sure. And had Albert Frost not been there to protect her, I think things would have been different that night. But information doesn't come free, especially not from a Ventrue. Especially not from somebody who doesn't know you. So, how do we rectify this?
Well, we just gave you a lot of information.
Let me guess. You're going to send us on a mission, go do something for you, and in return, you're going to give us information.
I don't play that game. There's
been a lot of going on.
I appreciate what you brought me, but I'm 2 steps removed from whatever's happening in Salem. I've got to deal with Reynolds and his anarchs who are tearing up West Salem. If you can bring me information about that, then we can trade for what I know about what happened that night. But what's happening in Salem, that's Hyde's problem. I wish I could help you.
I think you might have paused during the part where you told us what he wanted.
He wants us to go tear he wants us to go tear up West Salem to go find the anarchs.
No. I did not tell you to do that. I'm saying that whatever is happening in Salem is happening in Salem, and that's Hyde's problem. That's not mine. I'm 2 steps removed. I need to deal with what's happening in West Salem, and that means I got to deal with Grant Reynolds and his bullshit and his anarchs. So unless you have information about him and what his movements are, I can't help you. I can tell you to be careful of Hyde.
Would it surprise you that he set it all up?
No.
I have a question. This is the only question I ask.
Sure.
Will, the chick's name?
Hannah Smalley?
Okay. Hannah Smalley.
Mm-hmm.
Is she here to help the prince, or did she have a change of heart? You know?
Hannah was originally here to help Geraldine with something. What that might have been, I don't know. That was between the two of them and maybe whoever was Primogen for Geraldine at the time.
So there's a chance that she might not have been acting in the prince's favor. Got it.
So
Okay.
Oh.
Where's Grant Reynolds?
So we do know that some of that group, I believe, is in Portland right now.
Reynolds?
Not Reynolds himself, but some of the people under him.
That might be an issue. But again, Portland is an hour away from us. What happens?
You
in
wanted
Portland?
information about what he was doing.
Yeah. I guess I was a little vague. Useful information from here on in would be much better appreciated. I wish I could be more help for the two of you. I know
And
that
that demon, that demon that we found was in his area.
Mm-hmm. That useful information for you?
It is and it isn't. Demons, are they your thing? John, have you dealt with them? And he kind of looks at the two of you. He's been eyeballing the two of you, trying to read you. Ivory can definitely sense that off of him. He looks at him. I've personally never dealt with demons, Otis, but seeing as how I am currently helping their Tremere coterie member, I could ask him to see what he lets me know about.
Yes, Karl has all the information on the demon.
I was with Karl. Thanks. What if that demon could make as illusions come true? Almost like a whole street out of nothing.
Same could be said about some Ravnos.
And he was running from something. And he completely dematerialized the minute he stepped out of Grant's area. Is that useful information for you?
Is it, John? And John looks at you, looks back at him. For now, no. I don't think it is.
Somebody is staking out that hotel. And she'll give the address.
All right.
That demon was set up to watch it.
He hands the paper with the address to Dimitri.
I feel like we're giving a lot of information. You're not giving a lot back. It seems like a really bad round of sex.
He smiles. You've got a lot to learn about the game that we play.
She does.
And you're asking for an awful big chunk of what happened that night. And I don't like to revisit bad memories, because that's the night that Hyde broke my neck and forced me into torpor. So you'll forgive me if I ask for a lot in exchange.
I don't mind giving you what you asked for, Sugar Bean, but I need to know exactly what I'm delivering in order to give it to you.
Like I said, what happens, unfortunately, the Quajian haven't stepped foot out here. So any information about them, completely useless to me.
I ain't talking about the KG. I'm talking about the werewolf that was there.
The werewolves, Manny has luckily created a bridge with, so they don't bother us, we don't bother them. We have an understanding as far as Salem Town is concerned.
So what kind of information are you exactly looking for then? Because that is pretty broad.
I need to know what Grant Reynolds and the rest of the Barons are doing. I need to be able to claim West Salem, so I have a stronger footing, so I can go against Hyde. I need friends in the tower that are not afraid to get their hands dirty, and I need proof that him or whoever's closest to him is doing something that I can use to bring him down with.
Naughty, naughty. Plan on taking his
Well,
place?
no, he wants to take over the area.
Idea.
I think
And that's fine.
Salem would be better with a different Ventru in charge, even if it isn't me.
Okay.
Does it have to be a Ventru? Anyway, so just saying.
I have no bad blood with Geraldine. Her and I and my coterie, we got along fine. We were the first coterie to be given domain in West Salem when she was prince. So I am hurt that she is gone. We had a good time when she was prince, and she was fair and just.
If the Kwajong, I know you say you don't have any interest in them, but if they're working with the Anarchs to take over Salem, that sounds like it might be of your interest.
A tea.
Is there proof that Reynolds is working with the Quajan?
Can probably find it. Found this.
We're working on it.
All right. Well,
Is that the kind of information that would be useful to you?
That would be incredibly useful to me.
The problem is once we find it, it's probably going to be a little too late. Sure. Okay. Let's do it. Now we got to go search some Chinese.
John gets up and hands you a card for the Red Eye Lounge. And you see him write down a couple of different phone numbers on the back. The main number here on the card is for the bar upstairs. It'll go straight to the office. The two on the back, one is for Manny, and you see Manny kind of smile and wave at the two of you. He is always by Otis's side, so if you can't get to Otis, you can get to him, and he'll get to Otis afterwards. This second number is in case of emergencies. If you can't reach any one of us, you can call this number. It's for Gunther's storage in West Salem. It was our first domain out here. We still have strong connection to it. It's one of the few places that we can safely use while Grant Reynolds is running amok out here.
This Otis King guy is probably really old, right?
Not that you know of.
I want to try some of my shenanigans.
Oh, God.
There are 4 of them, and there are 2 of you.
Yeah.
Hold on. I want to try something. I want to see if it works. We're probably going to get kicked out. I'm sorry, Arbery.
What are you going to try?
I'm going to try lying my ass off. That's what I'm going to try to do. Give me a second.
Okay.
Let me think this one through.
Okay. He is a Ventru.
What does that mean? You can't tell if I'm lying?
No, it's just that he invented lying. His clan deals in lies.
Damn. Fuck. Okay, hold on. I can do this.
Okay.
What would be lying, technically?
Subterfuge.
What would it be on the chart?
Manipulation and subterfuge?
Yeah. Manipulation, subterfuge, charisma, subterfuge.
Subterfuge, I don't have it. I don't have charisma.
Yeah.
Wait. But hold on. I can do this. I'm gonna try persuasion.
What are you going to try to persuade him?
I'm gonna try to persuade him to give us some information now that can help us in identifying what's going on over there. That's the idea. And that if he gives us information a little bit more up front, it can actually help us cut that time short and get him to the top faster, or whoever he wants to the top.
Okay. Roll your manipulation and persuasion. That's going to be 4 regular dice and 1 hunger dice.
Yep. So 5. 1,
5 dice.
2, 3, 4, 5. Whew. Sorry, Ivory. Look at the shop. Oh, I love those! Okay, so my hunger dice is a 2. Not the best.
Nope.
But I do have a 0, a 9, a 7, and a 4.
Okay, so 3 successes. He looks at you and he smiles, and you see him get up, turn around, and he goes over to the record player and turns down the music very slowly until the record player's off. And you can hear that kind of slowing down of the motor as the record comes to a stop, and he turns around. It's a joy, I think, to see that you are young enough to try to go toe-to-toe with someone like me in my own domain. But you've still got a lot to learn about how kindred do business.
I said I wasn't ballsy.
I rolled 5 successes.
I figured you did. The minute you're like, oh, that's cute, it's 3.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. Please don't kill me.
But he goes, look, I've told you, steer clear of Hyde. Watch your back around him. Anything else that I can give you about him, you're better off learning on your own. The man is not... There are monsters, and then there are things like Hyde.
Got it.
That's the best thing I can give you.
And I hear your warning. Loud and clear.
If there is nothing else, John will see you out.
Would it be possible for me to speak with you alone for just a moment?
I am
No
rarely...
shenanigans, I swear.
I am rarely alone. Whatever can be said
No, I think
to
she
me,
wants me to leave.
whatever can be said in front of my coterie. We don't have secrets.
Kathy looks at Ivory. Is that? I can leave if you want me to. I get it. Nod or blink once. Do you blink?
Fine. This is personal to me. Geraldine was more than just the prince of this city. She is my grandsire.
Holy shit! Like Kathy's just like, what? You've
His
been keeping
eyebrow.
that hole? Is that why you have money, honey?
His eyebrow shoots up, and even John, who was very dismissive after the whole Kathy attempt to get information, has now tilted his head in your direction.
I could have saved myself the embarrassment.
Manny is in the same boat as Kathy. He just kind of looks at him, looks at John, looks back at him. Oh, this is more delicious than the morsel of liver that I have been chewing on for the last 10 minutes. I cannot believe what I have heard.
Can I have some of that? I need some popcorn after this.
He goes, "Oh, are you an organophile too?"
No, but it does look delicious, and this is some good ass cheese mix.
You don't wanna put this in your mouth.
Put you in my mouth, sweetheart.
Okay, I'll make a note of that.
So, if there was something that you know about her death, it's very important to me.
Otis steps over and holds out his hand to help you stand up.
She takes it.
and he leans in so that he is just next to you, and if he was breathing, you would be able to feel his breath on the neck, and he just, the only thing that I can tell you is that if you're looking for who killed Geraldine, you better get some friends to help you with Hyde. And then he steps back. So, now that I know where we stand with each other, I hope that we will be seeing more of you in your coterie in the future, Miss Larson.
I hope so too.
Could be.
Thank you for your time.
Of course. John, lead them out, please. Dimitri, if you could go investigate what they gave you, that'd be very nice of you. And he kind of like smells the card again. He's like, okay, I go through then.
I knew it was useful.
But you see him and Manny kind of stay down there as you make your way back up. As the safe is closed and Dimitri helps him put the filing cabinet back, Coulson sits down at the desk. Wow, this was very eye-opening, I must say. I've never seen Otis react like that, Miss Larson, so take this as a win.
I will. And please, let's not pass all this information on anywhere else.
We understand.
Oh, that's directed at me, ain't it? Got you, sweetheart. I ain't doing your secret.
We understand how things work. And as soon as you open the door to the club...
And she will take her weapons back.
Yeah. As soon as you open the door to the club, you are just bombarded by country music. And you can see that there is a girl already on the mechanical bull, the very skimpy kind of white t-shirt that's tied just underneath her sternum. And you see guys with water guns just kind of shooting up at her as she is kind of gyrating up and down.
Kathy whistles in that direction, but like kind of like ducks behind Ivory.
But yeah, it is mostly guys. There's a little group of girls that are in the white t-shirts that are just kind of like waiting their turn. It looks like only one other girl has gone because she is damp in a shirt. But so far, it looks like this is par for the course for Fridays.
Shall we get out of here?
I'm down.
Yeah, you
Miss
get back into your
Princess.
car. The driver kind of looks back. Ma'am, where are we going?
Find us some evidence.
I don't know.
I'll take us back
Oh,
across the
hold
bridge
on.
then.
Wait. Kathy leans back. Let's go over what we do know.
Okay.
We know that Otis has a grudge against Hyde.
Yes.
We know that there's something tying West Salem to Salem.
Oh, the bridge.
The sense of maybe the Anarchs, like you said, we're trying to take over. Hyde's at the middle of it, and we gotta prove why.
The more I think about it, Hyde was trying to keep other people from taking that building on the main drag. So, from what I can tell, maybe he wants the Kuai-Jing to take it? Why would he?
I don't think... It's all a front, Sugar Bean. If you showing off the boobs, no one's gonna look at the ass.
Maybe.
So what does he have to gain by having all our eyes in one direction while he's using misdirection for another?
Very true.
He's having us...
Could be.
He's having us all going on a goose chase. And while I know I may not look the part, I'm smarter than I think. Oh, you think.
Had me for a minute there. Anyway, yeah, I mean, this could be some misdirection, but there's definitely a connection with Hyde, the Kuai-Jing, and the Anarchs that we're missing. There's something.
I think you're right. You want to know what I think you can know? If we find that other guy that I didn't kill with the puppy. He's one. The other one that I'm thinking of also is, what's her face? The girl that was in the lichen area, didn't she tell us to also be careful that nothing is what it seems? Her information might be useful. And then on top of that, we have a demon. So it's more than just the Kuai-Jing. And the only way we're gonna figure that one out is if we get that guy with the pup.
Maybe. At least we might know who employed him or who was fronting him.
Who
we
is
can
that?
find that. The hunter or the guy with the puppy. If we can find out who else he's working with.
We're gonna look in a big city for one man.
Yeah, we don't have any leads to find him, though.
Mine.
The other person we keep running into that we need to talk to is Melvin.
He ain't here.
I know.
And like my mommy says, a good man's always there for his family. When they're not, they ain't good. So I ain't going near him just yet. He sounds like somebody that I want to rip his throat out.
Not so sure about that.
Wait a minute. Takes out the book from like somewhere in her pocket. What about the chick who believed in Atlantis and her father? Didn't they magically disappear too? Like, there's a lot of disappearances here.
Well, no, we found her. That's who we found.
That's what I'm trying to say. His coterie person, does he know where she is?
I'm confused as to who you mean.
Yeah.
Melvin was a part of that coterie, right? With Linda, I think her name is.
Lydia? Lydia was never part of that coterie.
Didn't they live together?
Yeah,
They lived together.
there was a Mustang and a, what was the name of the other one?
Connie?
And didn't
Yeah,
exactly?
Connie.
And didn't Mustang die from something?
Mustang went back to California.
Who? There was a death there. Who was that?
Albert
Connie
Frost.
was taken. Yeah, he died.
Yeah, he died protecting
what?
Geraldine.
Exactly. That's what I say. He died protecting Geraldine, right?
Yes, but Lydia said that she didn't know anymore about all of that.
Did she? You don't know. What I do know is that you now have 3 connections to Geraldine, 2 connections to Hyde, and 1 big mystery.
Yes.
So,
speaking of which, please don't mention my relationship to Geraldine to anyone. I would appreciate it greatly.
relationship.
Exactly. Thank you.
Are you say princess? All right, so our job is probably to go back to West Salem. Why don't we scope out that burned down area, see if maybe we can't find any tracks that are leading out or anything from that burned up area. I know it might be a long shot.
Well,
but
he
maybe we might even use it.
drove his truck out, I believe, right?
He did, didn't he?
Did you get a look at it? You were upstairs.
I will. Good, Rob. No, I did. I was out the window. You said I saw it go out the window. Like I saw him go out the window and drive off.
You saw the 2 of them. Yeah, you could try to make a wits and awareness roll to see if you could remember the look.
I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. 4 regular dice and 1 hunger dice.
I got more wits than that. Calm down. This is 3.
Yeah, but your
awareness
is 2.
is 2. 5. I got 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
So 4 regular, 1 hunger.
Got it. Here I go. I think it's 1 and 1. Okay. My hunger's a 1.
Good times.
9, 7. 9, 7, 6, and 6.
Okay. Luckily you had successes, so the 1 doesn't matter. You start thinking about it. You remember the feeling of you tearing into this guy's throat. the sensation of blood going down your gullet into your stomach, and that kind of rush of vitae sustenance coming through, and the sensation of your beast kind of feeling quelled for the first time in a long time. And you remember the look of terror on the guy's face. You remember the dog that he had was a short hair golden retriever mix, um, kind of a long diamond of white that went down the back of his head into the rest of his mane. A couple of white splotches on his paws. But the guy looked to have been a little older, maybe late 40s. A salt and pepper beard, short hair, that kind of donut of hair on the sides, nothing on top though. Very short, just kind of the streaks of gray that shot back around the ears. Um, light, very light green eyes. Svelte kind of build, very lithe. The red, blue, and gray of a tartan looking shirt, very, very much like a lumberjack feel. Big belt buckle that had a bucking bronco on it. Jeans, regular brown work boots, it looked like. But you also rolled enough to remember that it looked like on his right ankle there was a bit of a tug at the jeans. It looked like a little more taut, like there might have been some kind of knife in his boots.
Okay. And do I remember the car at all?
No, that you didn't get to see,
Okay.
but you do remember him.
His work boots. Flat sole or
It was not black soled, but it did look
flat sole.
like no, it looked thick soled. Almost looked
Like
like there
maybe
was a steel tip toed.
Okay. Is there any quarries around?
Not near the city. You'd have to go out towards the east.
What about construction sites?
There's always construction going on.
Uh-huh. Is there any way that we could check that out? Oh, I give this to Ivory. I think that man worked in either some form of heavy lifting or quarry, because people don't wear steel-toe boots just because they look fabulous. They do it to protect their toes. just in case
Steel-toed
you didn't
boots.
know. Construction site, some form of quarry. Wouldn't be electrical.
Well, any factory or any kind of
Yeah, but
job
we're-
like that.
Yeah, but you want to look around the area that he was hiding in. So keep that in mind. They would be relatively close. You wouldn't
Maybe.
you wouldn't drive 10 miles to go bury a body. You would drive to the docks in the boons.
Hmm.
That makes sense? Oh, and I described the guy to her. I don't keep it at all. I ain't gonna go through that beautiful repertoire.
Nope.
Did she see the second guy at all? Is that the second guy that you're talking
second
about?
guy-
The sun guy that
First
ran
guy
away.
bit
Yeah, that got away.
the dog.
Yeah.
That's another thing. How old was the dog?
He looked to be fully grown, so he must have been at least 3 years old.
We can't look for adoption agencies then. Um,
You don't remember him
What-
having any of the white around the snout or around the eyes, so he must
Oh,
have been
yeah.
he must have been just kind of becoming an adult.
figured. So then we gotta look for a place where he would keep a dog. Probably a big yard. I have an idea. What if we put up a missing person sign?
That would take some time.
Mm-hmm.
And it might get noticed.
Much attention? Too much attention. Got it. I'm trying.
Yeah. Especially since the area that we'd be probably putting them up is full of our kind. So
Maybe not the best idea I had.
Okay.
His
I
work
would
pants.
like to
Question
find him before the sheriff does, however.
too. His pants. I know you've described them, but do they have holes in it, or do they look worn or relatively new?
No, they looked worn. No holes though, but you did
Okay, so he
see
has his knees.
you did see some scraping, like things have tugged in lines, but they haven't come undone yet.
Looks like he bends a lot.
Around the knees. So
He's
on his knees
a lot.
No. So he's lifting. Because when it gets worn around the knees, it's because you're constantly lifting it, because you're constantly pulling that, unless it's reinforced. And then the work boots would go along with construction. So he's probably like either, I don't know what Salem was back then, so either like a miner or a construction, some form of blue collar, not white. That's right? Yeah. So then we got to figure out what blue collar he is. I have the wallet.
Also very religious. So
Hey, Will, are there any churches around that area?
around the strip,
Yeah,
only old churches.
that's fine. Churches that you may pray to on Sundays?
Yeah.
during the day.
Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is an old church just north of the strip, at the corner where Willamette University and the state capitol building kind of sit. There's a church just behind the main thoroughfare, State Street.
Mm-hmm.
That's hidden away. It's one of the oldest churches in Salem.
Do I still have the guy's wallet? Does it have his ID in it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The dead one?
Yeah.
The dead
Does
one.
it have an address?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, Jess. I mean, yay. Pull up the address. We can also try here, but it might be fake. And I tell her,
Maybe.
I think we might want to try the church because of all the religious aspects. He definitely prays. This might help us. I say we return some stolen goods.
Is the address in the area, or is it like in one of the outlying areas?
The address is definitely not in the area. It is more towards the east part of Salem. It looks like it's in the Lancaster situation.
Should definitely take it a look.
So,
like I said, you don't bury a body 10 miles out. You bury it in the dude.
Yeah, it looks to be around north of Four Corners, but south of Hayesville.
That's about right. That's about where I thought it might be, like a good distance. All right. I say we pay a little.
That's actually decently by my club. Possibly.
Propaganda. Let's go check it out. Let's go do it. It's us girls. Road trip.
Well, we can at least check out the area, see what we can find. Perhaps there is a church close to that address that they might go to.
I like you thinking. Driver, take us here.
Okay. And as soon as he crosses the bridge, he gets onto the expressway, pulls up, takes the 5 north. And as soon as he gets off on Market Street, one of the first things you see is the Blanchette Catholic School. And
I lean over.
With, I'm sure, a great big cross on it.
Mm-hmm. He follows.
She sees it, she goes, called it.
Yeah, he follows Market Street down to where he turns, and the street that the house is on, you can see the Calvary Chapel of Salem. big old
I called
church.
it. Oh, yay. Just
Takes up a big lot. Uh,
I go in there. You
but
can
yeah,
go.
you go down to where the address is, and it is a little kind of circular couple of streets that all are blocked off by Cordon Road and Hoffman Road, so it just kind of sits in between them. It's called the Windstone Village, and the house looks not upper middle class, but definitely middle class. It's a 1-story. It looks like maybe a 2-2, 1.5 kind of thing. There
Is it dark
is, and yeah, of course, it's dark out.
Yeah. So put down the window just a little.
Mhm.
Listen for a dog.
There is no dog at the address, but you do see a "Beware of Dog" sign on the fence. You do see a big wheel kind of tricycle in the yard that's kind of turned over. It looks like there's a light on in the backyard, but as far as like the lights in the house itself, it looks dark.
Kathy taps Ivory's leg. Can you stay here for a minute? And then she opens the car door to walk out. She tries to find like a little shadowy area, and she obfuscates. Well,
She will have the driver pull down the street some, not right by the house.
All right. All right. Make your Ross check for
Porch
Kathy.
lights are on. No porch lights are on, right?
No porch lights are on. It's just one die. It's just one die for your rouse check.
Sorry.
Okay.
One die. 0.
Okay. So you do pull in the shadows. You feel yourself becoming invisible.
Can I do the second one?
The first level one, the Silence of Death.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So I like to do that one.
Yep, that's free.
I need to do another. Perfect. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then make sure I'm doing this right. So I want to be as invisible as possible.
Yeah. You currently are.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna walk up to the door. No lights are on, right?
No lights are on.
I'm going to turn the knob to see if it's unlocked.
It is unlocked.
I'm going to quietly and silently try to go inside.
It's not an issue. You go inside, you can hear kind of droning, not clicking sound, but it's definitely a kind of like clock of what sounds like a fan in a room. You can hear the soft kind of rhythmic breathing of somebody sleeping in the closest room to you. The door is kind of ajar, but there is another door. There's another door across from it that looks like to be ajar, that looks like a bathroom. And then there's a door at the end of the hallway that is closed. But to the left, there is a kind of kitchen area, kitchen and dining room area. To the right of the doorway is a sunken kind of living room.
The pictures, do it match the pictures on the ID?
Yeah, you see that it's him. It is the other guy in one of the pictures that's there on top of the television. There's what looks to be a church, and a couple of other guys that are there with a priest at the end. And then one of the other pictures are like of a single little girl, but there's also like pictures of him with a wife. You imagine it's a woman. The girl looks to have a familial resemblance.
Is there any way that I can like take the picture of him with the priest and the guy?
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna do it as silently as I can, not making any noise. I'm just going to like gather them.
Sure.
Walk right back out the door.
Okay. As you finish taking the picture out and you put the frame back, you feel something rubbing up against your ankle.
It's a dog, ain't it?
It's a cat.
No, how dare you, Will? You know. I bend down, I pet it. Pussycat.
It purrs.
Love it, yes. And then I move.
Okay.
And I try to get out.
Yeah, you left the door open, so it's easy enough to get out. The cat follows you.
I pick it up and I take it with me.
Okay.
And I close the door very silently. I now have a cat, and I go, I'm bringing this cat, just so we're clear, on my downtime, I'm bringing this cat to Teddy.
Okay.
So there is a disembodied cat.
Yeah. Just floating towards your car.
I get in. You see me pop up. Hey, I got proof. Look what I got.
Yeah. And
starting
the
to pet the cat.
driver startles. He's like, "Oh my god!" Still not used
It's
to
okay.
that.
It's okay.
Still not used to that.
I like just dump the pictures onto her. Does this help?
Okay.
Hello? Did Kathy do good?
You just hear meow.
You have a new friend?
Oh, this is going to my friend Teddy. He loves cats. He'll keep her safe. It's a her, right? And I lift up the tail. Is it a her?
Well, there is a collar, and it does have a little nameplate. But it is a her. Her name is Juliet.
Juliet, yeah.
I'm sure Teddy will love her.
I know, she's such a pretty cat. So they don't have a dog, because they wouldn't have a cat and a dog. But they do know each other, and it's through this priest. And I show her the picture, and I try to find in the area if that chapel matches the picture.
It does
Does
not.
that match? It doesn't match one of the ones they saw?
It does not match either the Catholic school or the chapel to the
Is
north.
there a name that we can make out on the picture or anything?
The group is standing in front of it.
Want me to go get more pictures?
What else did you see? Anything?
So it's a pretty standardized house. I don't want to kill anybody. It
Is
seems
there
like somebody
people in there?
Yes. It sounds like someone's sleeping, and there's a kid probably, and I hold up the picture of the little girl.
Yeah,
That goes against my moral code. So, I grabbed what I could.
Yeah, let's not chance it again.
I don't think so. So, I mind you, I took as many pictures as I could do silently. I took the pictures of anything with the man, anything with the guy, and anything with the priest and the chapel. Like, I tried to take those. This is what I got.
The cat stretches and curls up on Kathy's lap.
I'm just continuously petting it. I'm like, do you like it? This adventure is going to go really far. I can go back in. No dog, so I can go in and out as much as you want.
I don't suppose my driver might recognize the church.
Even the odds in your favor.
Even.
Oh, my contacts might.
Nope, that's a 1. He looks at it, he's like, I think I might have seen something like that on the south side of town. Maybe.
Wait, question.
It looks like any other church I've seen so far.
I'm going to have to go back in. But, last question, Joey.
Hmm.
A picture with the guy and his friend. What's in the background?
It's him and his friend and a bunch of guys standing in front of the church. It's like 8 of them in total, counting the priest.
Okay.
Is there anything on the back of the picture?
Yes, actually. Says Holyoke Retreat 1980, and underneath it says Portland.
Son of a bitch, I ain't going to Portland, Will.
No, but somebody's coming back from Portland who might recognize that church.
Okay. So we now know a church. Okay, and we know it's Holy Oaks, we know it's in Portland, which means I look at her. I think these are gonna be more people to kill because these are probably your hunter.
Probably.
The door's locked. And like she looks, I'm like, the door's blocked. The door's closed. I'm gonna go back. And as she says that, she opens the door. Watch my cat. Closes the door. I have to make another rouse check.
If you want to pull the shadows, yeah.
Okay.
You could
Because you
go in
undid
there.
it, yeah.
You could go in there
Does
just
that
as you are. What'd you get?
8. Is that good? I got an 8.
Yeah. Yeah, you pull the
Okay, I'm
shadows.
gonna go back in.
Yep.
Open the door again. Okay, tiptoe as quietly as I can around the darkened areas. I'm looking for any, like, clues. Because if he's a hunter, which I think he is, he might keep, like, a shotgun or maybe, like, a trophy of such things.
You walk in to the house itself. You pass by the door that's ajar, and you can see the little girl kind of sleeping in her bed. She is surrounded by stuffed animals. There's different kinds of stuffed, like actual animals. Like there's a stuffed moose, there's a stuffed deer, there's a stuffed horse, a stuffed kind of beaver or something similar, like a platypus. Like she is enamored with animals. There's a little shelf above her dresser that has little crystalline animals, almost like like a glass menagerie. Across from her door, you can see the bathroom. It looks to have just the stuff for the little girl. So there's like a Barbie toothbrush. There's a little step up, like 2-step little thing to help her get up to the counter. There's
Little girl stuff.
Little girl stuff. But there is the door that's closed at the end of the hallway.
I'm gonna put my ear to it to see if I can hear anything. I have height, like I'm a vampire, so I can hear a little bit better, right?
Yeah, you would think, but there's no sound coming from it.
You're gonna make me open this fucking door. Oh, fuck.
Open it.
No sound. How far am I from the front door?
It's maybe 35 feet from the door to door.
Make it. I'm gonna slowly turn the handle. When I mean slowly, I mean we're gonna take the next 10 minutes to open that damn door.
Sure.
But slowly. Like no squeak, just enough for me to peek inside.
Mm-hmm. There, inside you can see what looks to be a master bedroom. There's a big bed. There is a woman who is quietly breathing in and out as she sleeps.
The dog next door?
There's no dog.
Okay.
The other side of the bed is completely empty. She looks like she's death gripping a pillow. And looking around inside, you can see more pictures on the count on like the top of the boudoir, the dresser kind of thing. There is no television in here. You see the door to the closet is also closed. It looks like one of those double sliding doors. And across from it, the door to the bathroom looks to be ajar.
Does the pillow look wet?
From this angle, you can't tell. You'd have to get closer.
The light on in the bathroom?
No, there's no lights on.
Step inside. The pictures. What do the pictures look like?
It's hard to tell. You can see outlines of people. It's so dark in here. Like the blinds are completely closed. It looks like
Oh, good. I'm good.
The guy has blackout blinds. Blackout curtains at least. So it's hard to make anything out. The little bit of light that comes in from the door, you would have to take a picture and kind of take it over to that sliver of light. But it's just pictures of them, the two of them. It looks like they've known each other since high school. But you also see that they both have known this other guy since the same time period. Like he's in a few of the pictures in the background.
What high school? Let's say. Like, can I take the name from the high school, from the jersey or the background or anything like that?
You can just see SH, so you imagine it must be Salem High.
Perfect. Because if there's Salem High, there's a yearbook. Is there any bookshelves or anything like that?
Not really. This is not that kind of
I
house.
see any bookshelves like might have a yearbook?
Nothing visible. You might have to open the closet.
I love you, Ivory. I attempt to open the closet, see if there's any like yearbooks or memorabilia
Okay.
to find out this fucker's name.
You open the closet. Which side do you open, left or right?
I don't know which side does it open.
I mean, it's sliding door, so you can open either side. Just do you want to open
So I'm
this?
gonna slide it the closest to the door because if I need to book it, I'm going out the door.
All right, so you slide open the left-hand side. It looks like this is his side. You can see more kind of like male, gendered clothing.
Close
And
it behind me.
on the
just
bottom
like
there
that.
is a safe.
The safe movable?
No, it's a safe. It's heavy.
Okay, I thought it was like maybe those little ones. Okay, safe here. Oh boy. Do I have the ability to crack it?
I mean, you could try.
I'm gonna try. I have to tell you how. I
I
have
mean,
an idea how.
it's a dial, so
That's what I figured. I'm gonna give it my best shot.
okay. Let's have you do a wits and larceny roll.
Great. All right. See how that turns out.
Yeah, 4 dice, so 3 regular dice, 1 hunger dice.
Okay. 3 dice.
I think it goes to say Ivory is watching around.
Hunger dice is a 7, a 9, 9, and a 7. So.
Okay. After hearing about Karl lockpicking a door to get into the brewery, you see the safe, and as you're sliding the door closed, it hits you that if a nerd could pick a lock, you must be able to do the same thing. And you get down, you put your ear to it, you start to kind of play around with the dial until you hear the tumblers. And once you do, you finally start to kind of like go back and forth. You reset it by spinning it around a couple times. And after a couple of minutes, you hear that clicking sound. And you pull the knob down and it opens. And if you can make a composure and resolve roll for me.
Oh, shush. No. Is it because I'm Kathy?
It is because the first thing you see is a massive cross.
Oh. Okay. Okay. What'd you say? Composure and what?
And resolve. So it's going to be 7 dice. So 6 regular, 1 hunger.
Okay, so it's not too bad. Okay.
It's not too bad.
1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 5 and 1, right?
It's 7 dice. So it'd be 6 and 1.
Okay, one more.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, perfect. Here we go. Let me roll that one again. Okay, so I got a 0, I got a 7, an 8, a 6, 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
It catches you by surprise, so you do kind of stumble back. But you've got silence of death, and you're cloaked in your unseen passage, so there's not a lot of noise that happens. But there is this big crucifix that just kind of sits there on the bottom shelf of the safe itself. Above it, you can see what looks to be a couple boxes of shotgun shells, a couple of boxes of what looks to be 45 caliber bullets. And there is, not 45, sorry, 38 caliber bullets, and there is a little kind of Saturday Night Special sitting on the top shelf. But you feel your foot kind of instinctively kind of leaning out to want to close the safe.
No, that's fair. The Saturday Night Special is just a movie?
No, it's a gun. It's a snub nose revolver.
Oh, got it. Okay, but there's nothing like no documents in here that I can see,
No,
right?
no.
Okay, I'm just gonna close it back.
Yep.
Okay. I go through his pockets, kind of like a wife that thinks her husband's cheating.
Nothing.
Nothing. What about on the top?
Nothing either. This guy's clean.
I was about to say he covers his fucking tracks. All right, I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
I want to walk out the door. Before I leave, I'm gonna put a note next to her like dresser.
Okay.
Sorry, but your husband's dead. Leave it that way and walk out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I get in the car. I close the door. I close everything behind me. And I
Yep.
get in the car. Salem High. If we can get to Salem High and get a yearbook, we can probably get these two fuckers' names. Hi again.
You know Clifford's name. Yeah, this time he's ready for it.
Okay.
So he just kind of
Salem
like
High for the
quietly.
other guy. There ain't nothing else I can find. This guy's clean. I did leave a note though, so we might want to go. Right, kitty cat?
Meow.
Yes, let's go. Salem High. They usually have things this time of
I'm
night.
looking
I'm
for
not
yearbooks.
sure. Yes.
Gonna
Yearbooks,
need-
yes. This time of night though, I'm not sure we could find anywhere that would have it.
Totally not breaking into the school tonight.
You could.
Totally not breaking into the school to find some past yearbooks or maybe even a roster of when this kid graduated. How old does he look, Will?
At this point in the night, though, I will tell you it's almost 3.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's a little bit past 2:30.
I'm down for some
I can have
old-fashioned B&E.
we have a picture. I can probably have someone, glancing at the driver, go check out a yearbook tomorrow during the day.
That's completely fine. I'm going to have my private investigator on it actually too, if you don't mind. Will, sometime during my downtime, I'm going to give out that picture.
Okay. So once you get to a phone, you can make that call.
She has a phone in her car.
I do have a phone in my car.
Oh, you do. That's true.
That's what I was saying. Sometime in the night, I'm going to make that call and give it to him. So hopefully by the next time we meet in 2 weeks, he would have figured out something.
Well,
oh yeah, your contact. Okay.
Private investigator.
Yeah, make a note of that. You're putting the call out to Dandy Bear. So he'll look into what do you want him to look into?
I want him to try and find out where the second guy is, where he might live.
So you're gonna give him no name and just a description.
Oh, I'm going to give him Salem High as the high school. I'm going to give him the description. And when I see him, hopefully sometime tonight or whenever, I'm going to give him the picture.
Okay.
The address to this guy.
So you're looking to meet up with him. Okay. Noted.
Then I'm going to give him this address. I'm going to give him all the information I have on this couple. I'm going to ask for him to kind of investigate. Maybe he'll follow her around and eventually she'll meet up with him.
Okay. So do you want Ivory to leave you wherever you're gonna meet up with him?
For the night. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Once we part ways.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna make my way to Teddy's and give him the kitty cat. So the whole night I'm gonna be carrying around this cat.
Okay. So you meet with your contact. You pass on the information. When you go back to where the last call bar used to be, you can see that there's a bunch of construction notices and that the lot has been bought out by a corporation, and that there's going to be a whole new kind of game-centered bar set up here in this location. So Teddy is no longer here. Yeah, of course.
I mean, Teddy's no longer here.
So Teddy is no longer here. You're going to have to find him.
Motherfucker.
But this, I think, is a good point to end it for tonight. So I'd like to thank you for participating. It's sad that Chad could not be here. I definitely would have liked to have seen how some of these interactions would have turned out with him having to rebound off of Kathy's blurting. But as always, thank you guys, the audience, for being with us, for joining us on this adventure. As always, we take mental health here on the channel very seriously, so just remember that it is okay to not be okay. And if you need help for any reasons, and you're watching live, there are phone numbers going up in the Twitch chat, so you can use those as a resource. They'll be in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. But please do not be afraid to ask for help if you need it. mental health should not be a taboo subject or subject matter that's hidden behind like hushed tones and things like that. It is part of our general health, and when we get sick, we go to a doctor. So when we get mentally sick, we reach out, and there are resources for that. If you're not in the United States, there is a link that's going up as well, so you can find the resources in the area closest to you, because they're there. So we might as well take care of that, take use and make sure that we are as close to 100% as we can be with ourselves. But as always, take care of yourselves. We have one more Monday night with everyone with our Anarchs next Monday, and we have a special one-shot next Saturday of Kids on Brooms, and then the channel will be dark for the holidays. So the last 2 weeks of December and the first week of January, there will be no shows on the channel. Everybody, please enjoy your time with family or time off from family. Whatever helps. So as always, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you when we see you. Have a good night, guys.